Hey guys, welcome to part two. I was hoping to only do this in one part, but I ended up having to make two parts. And so I was just saying, the reason why I feel like we wait for the police sirens, we wait to see the police, and we're not seeing them is because either they're ignoring it or they're not being told, and I feel like it's the latter. They're not being informed of what's going on, and I think it's because people are afraid, right? Um, Either they're afraid, or it's because they profit from the things that are going on. There's people that a lot of the majority of the people that live back here that are impoverished, um, lower middle class, people that are struggling, and there's people that are not struggling. There's teachers, there's teacher subdivision back there. There's people, who are just regular law abiding citizens, and some of the people are elderly, they just been here for a long time. And some people are just trying to mind their business. They're hoping if they look the other way, they won't be involved and that things will just go away, but they're not going to go away. They've seemingly gotten worse, and some people want them to stay like that because they prosper off of the darkness, off of the evil, off of the selling of drugs, right? So some people don't say anything because they like it, right? But I feel like the majority of everyone else, they're just afraid. They're afraid to say anything because the people that are selling the drugs and doing the gun violence and vandalizing things, they are like lawless and godless, and they're like it seems like they're above the law since nothing's being done. And apparently someone did report something because police cameras have been installed on some of the street corners, right? So they attempted to do something, but there's no police patrolling. You can't just like put a police camera on the pole and then like that's it. That all they have to do is avoid the cameras. I mean that's not the answer. And people not saying anything is not the answer. So here I am being the bad guy, so I have to be the whistleblower because if we don't say anything, I mean, I don't want to say I can't imagine it getting any worse because it can. It's like, you're laying in bed at night and you're hearing gunshots and you're just wondering, you're trying to figure out how close it is to you, right? Um, if you have loved ones that are home, you start to worry about them. Are they safe? Are they going to make it home? No one should have to worry about that. People just want peace. The forgotten people of Breaux Bridge just want what the people on the other side of the bayou have, which is peace, which is comfort, which is being able to sit out on their porches, walk down the street, go check their mail, visit their neighbor without worrying about being gunned down, or worrying about their things being vandalized or things being stolen, and in broad daylight. Like, did you see those houses? Like, all the windows are broken. These were beautiful houses. People lived there. People's family members, live down the street. There's people across the street. Like, how are these people getting away with it? But it's just like the fear. And if the police, if the mayor, if the people of this town, if the community doesn't come together and pull together and do something, they're gonna take over. I feel like they've already taken over. It's only gonna get worse. I mean, when they have to take the elementary school and move it to the other side of town, that should have been a clue. They took the kids out and moved them away because people were running through the schools. They're having, cops chasing people through the school, through the schoolyard. And, that's not safe for the kids. But so you move the kids out that come to school here, that are bused in here. But what about the kids that stay here? What about the kids that live here? The Head Start's still there. Every family that's lived here is still here. There's people that can't afford to move out, and they aren't a part of the problem, but they don't really know how to be a part of the solution. And I feel like we need to come together and find one, because this is not it. This is not it. This is not what life is meant to be. Life is too short to be worrying about all these things. There's enough things going on without having to add to it, worrying about being safe if you go outside to bring your trash can in the middle of the night or something. Like, I'm just praying from Breaux Bridge, and I'm asking anyone who's watching, Breaux Bridge Police Department, the mayor, please help us. Help the people across the bayou. Help these people. Because if you don't help them, who will? Who's going to help? Who's going to make a change? Make these people stop? Arrest somebody. Just something needs to be done. Like, something has to be done. It cannot go on like this. It's just ridiculous. I mean, me going down the street and making that video was like dangerous. I was gonna show the video. There was like a squirrel in the yard that had its head cut off. It's just like unnecessary violence. That's just literally on the ground. Like, a kid could walk by and see that. That's uncalled for. All the broken windows and glass on the ground and just trash everywhere. And it's like, if you don't care about Breaux Bridge, then who will? Who's gonna care? What's gonna be left for you to pass on to your kids? Are there gonna be any kids left to pass anything on to? These are like things that you need to ask yourself. Questions you need to ask yourself. People need to pray. People need to return to God. I feel like that's a big part of the problem as well. It might be a subject for another day, but that's part of the problem. People don't care about anybody else's outside of themselves. Like, they move the kids out, and then they're just like, okay, well, that's in the problem. We'll put some cameras and put a Band-Aid on there. Well, it's oozing around the Band-Aid. It's oozing. It hasn't fixed the problem. The problem is these people need to be taken off the street. They need to be taken off the streets. The streets need to be cleaned up. And I know it's harder, to do than it is to say. It's easy for me to sit here and say what needs to be done, but I'm not asking for a miracle. I'm just asking for things to be better. That's all I'm asking for help. I don't think I'm asking for impossible. If it's possible for the people across the bayou to live in peace and harmony and safety, then it's possible for us too on this side of the bayou to have the same things. Don't we have the same rights? The last time I checked, there's still taxpayers on this side of the bayou. People still pay their taxes. There's still law-abiding citizens on this side of town. People that still deserve to be protected. People that still want to protect their property. People that have jobs. People that have just regular everyday needs that need to be met. So this is just a plea. This is a plea for help. This is a plea for help. We need help. The youth needs help. The homeless people need help. The drug addicts need help. Breaux Bridge needs to take some of that tax money and invest it into doing better for this people, giving people hope. So many of the people that are doing these things are hopeless. And if they feel hopeless, they don't mind taking someone else's hope away. So maybe if we give back to the community and bring those people up, raise those people up, then maybe it will help to just end everything. Stop it at the root. Cut it off at the root. And then maybe things will get better. So anyway,